Hi and welcome to my final Ask Me Almost Anything before the general election on May the 7th. Thanks very much for tuning in, and thanks very much to those of you who've sent your questions in over the last few weeks. We've got 4 questions this week, so let's dive in with the first one. And the first question is from Steve H, and he asks, would you renationalise the railways? Steve, I don't want to see wholesale renationalisation of our railways. However, when we are giving contracts to private companies to run some services, we do need to ask, could the government run that particular service better? If the answer is yes, and we get better value for money from that service being run by the state, then absolutely the government should run those services. But it does have to be done on a case-by-case basis. And the second question also comes from Steve H, and he asks, do you support electrification of the railways in the southwest? Steve, I'm keen to see the electrification of our local railways, especially our connection to London and also down to the rest of the southwest. Electrification will make travel quicker and also cleaner. It's really important that we maintain our high quality transport infrastructure and improve it where we can here in the southwest. Question number 3 comes from a different Stephen H, and he asks, do you think tourism should be a local priority? Stephen, I'm very glad you asked me this question. You'll have seen in the local newspaper recently that the local Conservative Council has said that tourism should no longer be a priority for Weston-super-Mare. This strikes me as madness. We've got a proud tourist history in this town. We've got areas of outstanding natural beauty and 3 miles of golden coastline. To not use this asset seems to me to be absolutely crazy, and I'll do all that I can to make sure tourism, as well as creating room for other businesses to invest and grow jobs in our local area, is a priority for whoever runs the next council. And the last question now comes from Phil C, who asks, would the Liberal Democrats go into another coalition government? Phil, at the last general election, leader of the Liberal Democrats, Nick Clegg, said that it was for whichever party won the most seats and votes to seek to form a government, and as we know, that was the Conservative Party. The Liberal Democrats put national interest above short-term party political interest to work with the Conservatives for the last 5 years to rescue our economy from the mess that it was left in by the last Labour government. We are absolutely prepared to do that again, put the national interest before party interest, and work with either the Conservatives or the Labour Party to make sure we have a strong and fair economy for the future. However, Nick Clegg has spelt out red lines on NHS spending, education spending, funding for public sector pay, and on the environment, which means that unless other parties match our manifesto commitments in those areas, there will be no deal with the Liberal Democrats. And that's it for this, the final instalment of Ask Me Almost Anything. The general election is on Thursday the 7th of May. Polling stations are open from 7 AM until 10 PM, and you don't need to take your polling cards with you to vote. Please do go out and vote, no matter who you cast your vote for. It's really important that you go and make your voice heard and have your say. I do hope you'll consider voting for me, John Munro, and the Liberal Democrats, because Weston and the villages really do deserve better.